All right, I decided to pop off the stream 9 minutes ahead of schedule. So 10:51. My wife's sister just got here, so she can actually watch my 2-year-old and my 6-year-old. Well, my wife's not here. Allows me to get this stream in. I feel like we're gaining a little bit of momentum here on Baseball and Coffee. I don't want to get too excited about it, but people are responding well. The subscribers are going up. The chat's getting better. Thanks for everybody who's been with me from the beginning. This is the 30th live stream. So about a full month of these. Feel like it's going pretty well. I do like posting the standalone videos, on maybe like a player of the week, or yesterday we did a major league debut, Nolan McLean. So please go ahead and check out that video on my channel. That would be really helpful because I could have used the Nolan McLean outing as the lead topic on today's stream. But I decided that, it deserved its own room to breathe this morning. So I did it last night. In a word, I was quite impressed by Nolan. He's got elite spin on his breaking pitches, especially the curveball. Curveball would be probably the number 1 or number 2 highest spin rate in the league right now. Sweeper would be in the top 7. They both have elite movement and velo given their shape. He's got some velocity on the fastball. He's got a nice sinker. So a lot to work with. Exciting for Mets fans to have another arm, in the stable. And this kid will just continue to get better. He's got a great pitching coach in Hef. He's got good pitchers around him to pick their brains. Maybe not quite as good in the past because the kid's not there anymore. So I guess I'm not the kid anymore. I guess I'm the old man, but I'm not there anymore. But still, plenty of guys to learn from. And it's really exciting for the Mets with Nolan McLean. What's up in the chat to Alex and Ray? See you fellas. The only 2 in here so far on a Sunday, but I appreciate you guys hanging with me, as we're just trying to be consistent. And that's why I'm doing this even on a weekend. No break for me. All right, so let's get into the standings. Let's get into the standings from last night. Blue Jays have won 3 in a row. Red Sox 2 in a row. Yankees 2 in a row as they've won the first 2 in St. Louis. Finally swinging the bats the way that we know that they can. So 5-game lead for the Jays. They are in very, very strong position as we are now past the midway point of August. 5-game lead in the division. So it's all really in their hands. Red Sox also playing well. Yankees trying to, get back to who they want to be as well. So this might shape up where these are the 3 best American League teams. I know that's a little crazy to say right now because Detroit's got something to say about that. Certainly Houston and Seattle as well. I've been tooting Seattle's horn for a while, but they did finally lose to Nolan McLean and the Mets yesterday. In the Central, Tigers back up to 8.5 over Cleveland. Cleveland's more of a wild card contender at this point. Houston and Seattle will be battling it out. Rangers, they lose again. They got pummeled by the Blue Jays. Now they're 2 games under 500. They're having a very disappointing year. They win the World Series 2 years ago. Last year, disappointing. This year, disappointing. Hard to put your finger on that. You feel like they have a lot of talent there, especially on the pitching side. They've actually had a good pitching year. They just have not hit, have not fielded, and have not won games. And at least Mets do finally get that win, and it coincides with a Philly loss, so the lead's back to 5. Plenty of time for them to win a division, but it does feel like with the way they've been playing, they just need to focus on one game at a time and more the wild card, and if the division comes, the division comes. Milwaukee, they just keep winning. They've won 14 in a row. That's what we're going to start this stream off with today, and now they are 9 games up on the Cubs. It's just absurd. 14 in a row. Now they're at a 162 run differential. They are by far and away the number 1 team in the big leagues. Of course, this coincides with their absolute burner they're on. Dodgers now have officially won the series. We're going to watch Blake Snell as well. He pitched against the Padres, and they did beat the Padres, so now they flipped that. They're back on top. Rubber game coming tonight. Padres could even it up, or Dodgers could get back up to a 2-game lead. Either way, very important little burst here from the Dodgers against the Padres. It felt like the Padres had all the momentum, and the Dodgers have kind of stifled that a little bit. Okay, so let's just, without further ado, let's just go ahead and investigate a little bit this Brewers win. It was Brewers and Reds, as the Reds have been trying to win, but they can't seem to get out of their own way. This was another comeback win. This game ended up going extra innings. So for Milwaukee, it was Priester, He gets into the 6th. Then they go Ashby, Miller, Koenig, Uribe, McGill, and Mears. So Mears is pitching. He came over in a trade. From the Rockies, actually, last year at the deadline. He's got excellent characteristics on his pitches. Milwaukee said, yes, please, we'll take him. So he ends up pitching this top of the 11th. And this is kind of how it goes. Got the ghost runner on second.
2-1 lead. Later forged.
This is with a 3-run lead. So he actually comes in and kind of doesn't get the job done in this situation. Fly ball to left.
He's 90 feet away at the expense of...
The 3-run homer was in the top half. I am so sorry, guys. McGill pitched in the 10th. Yeah, okay, so McGill pitched in the 10th. Yeah. Okay, here's what I wanted to show. So first, Tyler's brother came in, ghost runner, ends up giving up the tying run right here. So on the little double here, the Reds come back and score the tying run in the bottom of the 10th, and then he goes pop out, walk, and strike out. Here's the pop out. Sorry, I'm a little chunky today. A little clunky already. Right down the middle, little pop up there. That's the first out, and then he's going to end up getting Ellie swinging. That keeps this game tied, so they don't get walked off in the 10th. And this is one thing that the Brewers have better than other teams right now. Their bullpen's been really awesome the whole year. Continues to be awesome. McGill's picked up right where Devin Williams left off for the Brewers, and he's been super nasty. So the game ends up being tied, and La Sorsa comes in for the Reds. And here is a little bit of another dose of Milwaukee magic. Joe La Sorsa facing Bryce Terang, man on second, and they go for the bunt because they play a little small ball here. But because they have speed, ends up being safe. So really botched defensive play by the Reds. You have to get an out here, and it's funny because Key Bryan is an excellent third baseman, but there's a lot of hesitation here on this play. La Sorsa's kind of in the way. So Key Bryan ends up stumbling over La Sorsa. Here, we can see it on the high home. They both crash towards this ball, and Key Bryan ends up falling over him and can't get a lot of pepper on the throw, and that's why he ends up beating it out. So Brewers playing small ball, but it also plays into a little bit of what they do anyway. I think we'll actually be able to see it really good from this view. Because Terang's fast enough where if you make any tiny mistake, they're going to expose you on that. And they kind of screw up this a little bit. Pitcher does trip the third baseman a little bit, yes. But he gets the throw off, so it's not really drastic. It's more so just there wasn't really like a hard crash. I'm watching Key Bryan here. It's a very light crash. He wasn't really anticipating the bunt here. And they take advantage of that. And you just cannot mess around at all against the Brewers. If you're indecisive, they will get you. So there's first and third. And that makes this swing that much more important. Andrew Monasterio. This guy has I think 5 career dingers. And this is the biggest one of them all. It's a first pitch changeup. So if you just throw a first pitch changeup, are you really changing anything up? Or is it just a slow fastball? I think in this case it just played out like a slow fastball, buggy whip to left. And a guy with single-digit career homers hits a 3-run deciding home run here in the 11th. They're getting contributions from everyone. It doesn't matter who they are. They seem to put on a Brewer uniform, and they just flat-out rake. So it does look like he was a little bit out front, timing-wise. There's a little bit of a ride out here, but overall, just a changeup right down the middle. 3-run jack, 6-3, and they go on. They go on to win this game. Nick Mears, like we just talked about, he comes in, gets fly out of Andujar.
Later forged a deadlock. Andujar drills this to center, but
nice easy play there. Gets Espinal out with a fly out. This is another reason why I talked about a little bit about road teams in extra inning games. The crooked number in the top half makes the job so much easier for that next pitcher who comes in. So that's Mears in this case. He doesn't have to care about this runner at all. So 2 fly balls and they score a run, but it means nothing because they need to get 2 more runs to win. And you can further reinforce that even more as he gives up a home run here to Noel V. Marte, but it doesn't matter because you have a 2-run lead. So it allows you to pitch super aggressive, just kind of peppering the ball down the middle, knowing that one swing can't beat you. And now finally he does, realize he just has to collect 3 outs. He already has 2 in the inning. He ends up getting the 3rd out here against Matt McClain.
Center field. Lockridge going back.
And the Brewers do it again, 14 in a row. Today they go in for 15. I don't personally remember any streaks beyond this number except for there was like the 21 or 22 games in a row by the, I guess they were the Indians still. I'm trying to remember what year that would have been, 17 or 18? They won 21 or 22 in a row. I remember a Jay Bruce walk-off double for like win in a consecutive win number 20 or 21. So, yeah, they're crazy. They're insane. I think we might have had another Yelly. Nope, Yelly had a tough night. Who were the offensive performers in this game for the Brewers? Because it seems like they just get somebody different every game. Got a Caleb Durbin double here. Littell pitched well. He was deep into this ball game. Caleb Durbin double. Bryce Terang.
No joke.
Bryce Terang's a nice player.
You got to make sure you keep that ball in front of you. First pitch, Terang slaps to right.
Oh yeah, Athletics. Good call, Jared. They also had a 20-game winning streak. But we're getting into that territory now for Milwaukee. 14 in a row is crazy. If they get to 15 today, you can just forget it. So really, they didn't do anything offensively, and yet they still won this game on a huge home run by Monasterio, which is crazy. But again, it's the bullpen. Priester does his job. Ashby comes in, strikes 2 guys out. Shelby Miller, 2 out of 3 are strikeouts. Koenig comes in, pop out, walk, double play, faces the minimum. He gets the face. Uribe, this guy's gross. Ground out, strikeout, single, strikeout. Let's see what this last strikeout looks like. Slider. Another 100-mile-an-hour arm. Abner Uribe. Nasty. Pimping it. Let's watch a man pimp a strikeout. Gotta love that. McGill, strikeouts. Yes, he gets clipped for the 1 run, so he doesn't get the save, but it's a tough situation. And then Mears is nasty too. Literally every guy they throw out of their bullpen is kind of filthy. So it's time to really take this team seriously, for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to put on the solo shot for a sec while I have to order some food for my kid really quick. This is dad duty on a Sunday. Nobody has any dang activities today. So, all right. What do we want? Mac and cheese. Yep, kids mac. What else? Grilled cheese and fries. This is all very kid-centric ordering. And Caesar wrap, no chicken. All right, that's it for that. So let me put that order through and then we will continue moving. Thanks for bearing with me. Never going to be super polished on this show, I'll tell you that. What we ordering grilled cheeses, mac and cheese. This segment is brought to you by Uber Eats. Even though they don't give me any damn discount. All right. So that's the Brewers, 14 in a row. They're going to go for 15. Who do they have on the mound today? Let's just skip ahead to that and take a look. Brewers. Oh, my guy, Jose Quintana versus Andrew Abbott. So this is a very good matchup. The two lefties right here, Quintana and Abbott. This would be a good game. Reds need it. Brewers, obviously, they're trying to extend this, see how far they can go. That's the way I used to approach things pitching a lot, too. It was like 1 scoreless outing, 2 scoreless outings, try to get to 5, try to get to 10. It kind of keeps you engaged and not thinking about the negative, the possibility of like, oh, I've pitched so well lately, I'm bound to give up a run. No, it's like, let's see how far we can carry this streak out. 10 games, 20 games, 30 games, whatever it may be. I got to like 38 that one time, and then kind of pissed it away. But anyway, all right. So what do we got here? Oh, let's watch the Cubs 8th inning rally. So also NL Central. There was some key 8th inning stuff here. Cubbies. Who the Cubs just play? I should know this. Pirates. Yeah, Cubs Pirates. Yeah. Okay. It's off Sisk. So it starts off with Kyle Tucker. Just needs to get on base here. Ooh, almost gets hit in the face. This is his job, is to get the lefties out. You see the extreme Danny Youngish-esque step across the body. I mean, look at these 2 points here. And the release point shoot in this direction. So this is a tough AB. As good as King Tuck is, this is a tough AB. All right, sweeper coming.
On the ground,
and you know what?
Tucker is aboard.
Pretty good pitch. Hit the ball fairly hard. 88.5, but sometimes it's better to hit it where they ain't, as the Mick would say. Hit it where they ain't. Oh boy. We gotta close out dugout for a second. I'm drawing all over the place. Sorry. Cubs, Pirates. Back to Sisk. So he gets the leadoff hit. Big leadoff hit. Because 1 run is all it was going to take to win this game. Lefty on the mound. Cubs got thrown out twice stealing the other day in a big spot to lose by 1 run. They decided to risk it again, though.
Here's Saya now, 1 for 3. Runner goes.
And Tuck takes it super easy with no throw. So they definitely had something. And, you know, I've been listening to a lot of scuttlebutt about pitch tipping and how good teams have gotten at comparing video for grips and getting stuff on some people when they're on second base, sitting in the mid, having base coaches get involved. The other side of the tipping is tipping for stealing purposes, whether a guy's going to pick off, whether a guy's going to go to the plate. More guys tip this than you think. Very few present the same way on a pickoff and a pitch to home. So clearly they had something here, left on left, for you to go first pitch and be very confident that he's pitching home to the point where they can't even make the throw. Let's see Tuck over here. Yeah, no hesitation. I'm watching over here. I'm watching King Tuck. Yeah, doesn't even think about going back. Gives Henry Davis no shot to throw. So that was huge. That gets him in the scoring position. And then that allows Saya's hit right here to end up being the difference in this game. Grounder up the middle. Tuck comes around and scores. So a little bit of small ball there. Saya moves up. A little bit of small ball there. They continued it by bunting Pete Crow Armstrong here for the sack. Another guy that you'd love to be the guy actually doing the bunting in a sack fish because he's so fast, he might be safe anyway. But that worked out nicely because eventually Johan Ramirez, even though he does strike out Carson Kelly, he walks Ian Happ. He ends up surrendering this double to Nico. And, you know, small ball really paid off. The stolen base, so 2 singles, a stolen base, a sack bunt, and then a 3rd single and some really aggressive base running coming around first, allowing guys to move up into scoring position twice. You know, allowed the Cubs to really come through with some clutch moments, and I think that's big. You know, they've been very power reliant this year, the Cubs. If we go take a look at the Cubs here real quick. Statistics, league batting. They're very high up in ranking in terms of WOBA. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 4th in WOBA, barrels. 2nd in barrels to the Yankees. So again, it's a very power-centric offense. Batting average at 252. On base is not very high, 321. That's not one of the high. It's up there, but it's all the way down here with Houston. They're not in the very, very tippy top of on base. So they're doing it more with slugging, as they are number 4 in slugging, right in the mix with the top dogs. So again, like, they've been doing it mostly with a power game. They have a lot of guys with homers. Let's go to their expected stats by team. But in this case, they play a little small ball. They use their speed, and it ends up working. Tucker, Bush, Saya, Carson are all well above average. And then Hap and Dansby and PCA have actually all dropped back to about average. Interesting that PCA is struggling so bad in the second half offensively. And yet, I believe he still might lead the NL in WAR. We can check that in a second. Castro, Horner, and Shaw pulling up the rear. Let's see something. Leaders. This is Fangraphs WAR, so take it with a grain of salt. It's not my favorite WAR. But he is 5th in WAR. 5.5. And that's with him really struggling at the plate as of late. But the defensive WAR is really good, and the base running. He's good in all categories. But yeah, I mean, they needed him to play at an elite level if they're going to hang with the Brewers, and they're not able to hang with the Brewers, clearly. So just wanted to show that. Cubs do a good job kind of sneaking out a run there in a different kind of way than they're used to doing. All right, what else we got here? I have Snell versus Padres. And, okay, that might inspire us to move on to the next. So, Blake Snell pitched against the Padres yesterday, one of his former teams, in this big Dodgers-Padres series. I wanted to watch it because I know he gets in a little bit of trouble right off the gate. Leadoff hit from Tatis. Man, 97-7, though, coming out guns blazing. Gotta love that. And then I believe that there's a caught stealing in here somewhere, so we're going to watch this whole at-bat. Arise tried to do the Tony Fernandez half bunt, half swing move here. And comes up empty. What did that look like at the plate? All right, so that's something that I might try to do, but not him. Pick off.
Pitch.
I know that Will Smith is a big reason for this. Here it is. Hosed. So there's the first out that Will Smith saves Blake Snell from, because he got off to a little bit of a bumpy start. But when you have a catcher who can throw like this, God, I wish I could have got free outs on the bases. This is so amazing for a pitcher. Man, perfect throw right on the bag. Look at the location of the throw. All Mookie has to do is just catch it, and then he's going to actually slide into the glove. Perfect throw. Let's watch Will from behind the plate. Pretty clean. Pretty clean. And that's coming up from the one knee. A lot of people say the one knee is eliminating your ability to move quickly. Pretty damn smooth there. Let's see what type of jump Tatis got. Pretty good jump, honestly. So this took a perfect throw, and he got it. So he gets hooked up with that, and he needed it because he continued to give up hits. Arise now goes ground rule double on a left-on-left changeup. Only he could do this. This swing is so bizarre. Wow, look at the usher and the ball boy, or ball boy usher, not sure which one, running for dear life on this ball. Sorry, we're going so slow here, but we have to watch that. This is insane. Also, I think Blake Snell thinks him hitting this pitch is insane, and so do I. But watch my guy right here. And then let's look at what Blake Snell is saying here. That's crazy. That's crazy is what he said. That's crazy. And it is. Look at where this pitch was. This is a changeup in off the plate. How do you keep this ball fair? Only Luis Ariz could stay that tight. All right, so it's a double. Now Manny Machado. He's going to get a hit on a changeup, even though it's an infield hit. So 3 hits to start off the game. And he gets a first pitch Jackson Merrill line out.
2 on and 1 out.
Good approach by Merrill going the other way. You're not going to be able to pull Blake Snell left on left. That's at least my opinion. I would not take that approach. But Will Smith bails him out again with another caught stealing right here. Go in a second. throwing an absolute dime. Machado didn't really extend the leg here. So this was also interesting. You got a double steal. Both runners stealing, runner from second and runner from first. Will Smith decides to go to second with the throw. Stays really tight with that throw. He must have hopped off the bag or something, because to me it looks like he beats this throw. I don't know, maybe they couldn't overturn it. Let's see on the high home. So you have two runners here, both running. And they decided to pick their poison with Machado, and they got out of this inning. So Blake Snell gets two guys thrown out in the same inning and a line out, and that's the end of his first inning. So incredibly hooked up by his catcher. Really big play. And you know what? It continued, because in the second inning, even though they have a 3-0 lead, it gets off to a kind of a sketchy start as well. Xander, line drive up the middle, base hit. Then Ramon Laureano. Pretty sure there's another caught stealing here. Yep, another perfect throw. So Will Smith throws out three guys in the first two innings. And I think he's already recorded more outs than the pitcher to this point. Yeah, 3 of the first 4 outs are recorded by the catcher. And you can see the value of an accurate throw. All 3 of these throws right on the bag, where the shortstop has to do minimal to get the tag. All Rowe has to do is catch it, find skin or jersey. Sick play. I love watching catchers throw. And they're off the one knee, so people who hate the one knee, Will Smith has a little bit something to say about that. And Laureano's like, "Are you kidding me, bro? You've thrown out 3 dudes in this game already." So Blake Snell gets hooked up at the start of this game, and that allows him to really settle in.
Get off me, ball.
He had excellent use of his fastball in this ball game. As you're going to see as we fly through it, gets a lot of outs on fastballs. Changeup was the second pitch. Slider was the third pitch. Curveball went all the way back to the fourth pitch, which has been a really good, pitch for him. But yeah, clearly San Diego came in with the game plan of exposing Blake Snell, and instead they ran into a whole bunch of outs. So that's the end of the second. Iglesias, again, you're going to see a trend here. He really dominated with the 4-seam fastball. Ball's hit pretty well, but good positioning. Freddie Fermin. This one's going to be a curveball. I love Blake Snell's curveball. From that high slot, comes out looking just like the fastball. Has really nice drop and spin to it. And he's going to get his first punchy here on a curveball to Tatis.
A curve lands for his
Nasty.
first strikeout.
See ya. 4th inning. Leadoff walk to Arise. Then we got a Machado flyout. Changeup. And again, we talked about it last week when we watched Snell pitch. I think the changeup becoming his primary secondary pitch, like his #1 secondary pitch, has really changed him. Really changed his outcomes. I think he's able to get better contact outcomes. I also think it's just a pitch that you can't game plan for. You can't sit spin off him anymore. And I think that's what propelled him to that second Cy Young. Yeah, how bad is Blake Snell at holding runners? That's a fair thing to look at. Awful, dreadful, not good at all. So yeah, that's clearly why they wanted to do that. He struggled with this his whole career. When you're in these blue numbers, which I'm very familiar with, that means teams are taking advantage of you. They're able to get extra bases off you. And yeah, so far so much better in LA, but he doesn't have as many games yet. So that they came in with the game plan and it kind of backfired due to some perfect throws by Will Smith. So there's a fly out, and then we're going to get a Jackson Merrill ground out. Fastball.
Really appreciate
rolls it over.
Bounce it to Freeman.
And then a Xander Bogaerts fly out. And Snow really started to roll after he got helped out by Will.
Into right center field. Pages is there.
Pages is there. And the 5th inning. Get some punchies. Here's the first one with a changeup. Let's see if he gets it down and away.
Gets a swing and a miss. Gets Laureano very quickly. The bullpen later.
Forcing fastball. Smell ya. He has such good stuff. You cannot let him get into a groove.
300 against.
I mean, you can see the swings. Some that's like the third or fourth guy that we've seen just waving the bat with zero authority at a pitch out of the zone. 6th inning.
Thrown down by Clayton Kershaw. He went 6.
Ready for Mean. Change up, down and away, roll over. It's a beautiful location. Here comes a double. So Tatis, this is his second hit of the day. Just poor location. Ends up too hittable. That's middle. So a double there, then he's going to get a rise, ground out. I would stay fastball with the rise if I was him too. Yeah, it kind of beats him. Ground ball to Mook. Walk of Manny, and then he'll get his last out on a Jackson Merrill fly out on another fastball. So, well, Blake Snell doing a good job making adjustments in this game. Started off shaky. Location wasn't there. Maybe pitch selection was a little off. Ends up turning to his fastball up in the zone. Slash in on the plate. Starts dominating. Gets the changeups below the zone. Ends up rolling through them. Goes 6 shutout innings. Big thanks to his catcher, Will Smith. Now, that does make me curious, though, on the catcher throwing. Where's Will Smith rank? Here we go, catcher throwing. He is down here in 16th place. But you can see the value in the catcher throwing because nowadays everybody is stealing. The overall attempts are so much they're so much higher than they used to be. And if you have pitchers that can't hold runners, they're going to take advantage of that. And the antidote to that is having a catcher who can actually throw guys out. My favorite catcher in the league right now defensively is Patrick Bailey. Not only is he amazing, Patrick Bailey right here, number 6 at 4. Catcher caught steals above average. Maybe we could watch a few Patrick Baileys. Let's switch over to Patrick Bailey mode. Because he can't hit. Or at least he can't hit this year. But he has been unreal at throwing guys out and at framing. He's by far number 1 in the framing statistics. Let's watch a caught stealing here.
Runner goes, pitch high, throw to second base is in time. Well, that's a heck of a
he has great anticipation with his feet. Bailey seems to be the type of guy that he starts getting his momentum going towards first well before he ever catches it. I mean, towards second. Post. That was nasty. Look at the way he slings it. So he kind of like, he already starting to do his pivot for his transfer. And then he slings it like he's a shortstop. Patrick Bailey definitely played some middle infield at times in his career. As he hoses a dude there. Let's see what else we got. We got some more of these.
So
Watch
far
this one.
the year in thefts. There he goes. The pitch is high, and that is ball 4. Oh, no. Called a strike.
Tatis didn't get the memo. Let's see this one. And JV on the mound for a bunch of these, too. Oh, great play. This for the bounce throw. Really didn't have any time, so he didn't have any chance of being accurate here, but he just lets it rip in the ground. Because I have a hunch that this runner got a huge jump. But he gives his shortstop a chance, and a big part of that is where this ball goes. It's on this side of the bag, so all he has to do is look for a body part after he catches it. That's what he does, and that's what they're teaching now, is to throw on that side of the bag. Nice catch and tag by Adames. So there's 3. Let's see if we can find another one. Then we're going to go look at his framing numbers for a second, because he's really outclassing the whole league. Oh! That is so smooth. Just look at the way he's already getting his body in position before he ever catches it. Man, this is so amazing. I want to do this. Wait. I love that Patrick Bailey. So sick. All right, so that's an example of him throwing some guys out, which is one of my favorite things to look at. And he needs it because right now, offensively, he's bringing nothing to the table. He's literally 2nd percentile in xWOBA. But I'd still want him behind the plate. And here's why. He's good at everything. Him and Dylan Dingler, I'd say, are the 2 guys that are good at everything this year behind the plate. He's 79th percentile blocks above average, 92nd percentile and caught steals above average, 100th percentile in framing. Obviously, the pop time's really good. So let's go look at the framing. Leaderboards, catcher, framing. And this has been updated. They just recently got better at this. You can actually compare two pitchers. But Patrick Bailey, 18 catcher framing runs. Yeah, I love the low three-quarter slot, just slinging it. I think it's just easier than getting on top. Maybe a little quicker, and also I think then his balls sail more to the side of the base that you want to miss on. All right, so this is each different position. So at the shadow on the top, he's +4. Shadow at the bottom, +6. I think it's really hard to be good at both. Shadow top and shadow bottom. If you're one of those ones that sets the gloves down and then tries to scoop up, how are you going to also frame on the top? I guess there's a different target depending on the intended execution of the pitcher, and then you can kind of snatch down or snatch up. But he's good at both of those, which you don't see many people who are good at both. He's good on the left. He's good on the right. +4 on pitches to the left. +3 on pitches to the right. In the heart, it's whatever. That's kind of wild. So he's good at literally every single spot. And then here you can kind of do a comparison. Guess we'll go with, let's go with Alvy because that's my boy. So this is also distance to the edge. Patrick Bailey's also the best at getting pitches 3 to 4 inches inside the zone. Make sure, like, he's making sure that strikes are strikes, but he's also getting ones that are pretty far out. I mean, he's in the red 9% on 2 to 3 inches outside the zone. So he's doing a little bit of everything. They don't really have a lot of like video that breaks this down, but you can see by direction. He's elite in every direction. And a lot of these other guys that are good, like Austin Wells, for example, he's -3 at the top. He's -3 at the top, but he's +8 at the bottom. So they're usually better on one side or the other. Alejandro Kirk, clearly better at the bottom. Hedges, clearly better at the top. Moreno, better at the bottom. Dingler, better at the bottom. Narvaez, better at the top. Contreras, better at the bottom. Bailey's the only guy who's pulled off the trick of being good on both. So I just want to highlight how freaking good he is and how incredibly valuable this is as a pitching staff to have a catcher like this back there. And if he can just hit a little bit, which he hasn't to this point, he'd be a slam dunk starter. But yeah, the hitting is definitely dragging him down. Pretty sick though, his catching. I wonder what the catcher blocking leaders look like. Kirk, way ahead of the pack. So yeah, Kirk's been another one who's been very, very good. Kirk, as well as Dingler, have been good in every single category. This is kind of the visual on Kirk. Let's see if we can find one on Patrick Bailey. No. Patrick Bailey, load visual. Go to visual. So here's Patrick Bailey on blocks. He's got 3,569 block opportunities. Actual pass balls plus wild pitch is 23, and estimated should be 27. So that's how you get the +4. I don't know. This is all very in the weeds. But then we can look at different locations, I guess. Oh, him versus Kirk. Can you look in each little slot? I don't know. This is an interesting visual. I'd love a little more help with maybe what we need. Let's see what tough blocks. So tough blocks seem to be mostly away from your arm side, so you don't have a glove over there, I guess. You have to slide your feet. He's even good on tough blocks, medium blocks. I don't know. Interesting little visual here. So catcher framing, catcher blocking, catcher throwing, catcher pop time. Bailey's third in pop time. Real Muto, Andy Rodriguez are both at 1.86. Bailey's tied with, right now, the GOAT of throwing, Luis Torrens. He's doing it all. If he could just hit, man, he'd be a freaking all-star. This guy's good. Patrick Bailey. What else we got? Leaderboards. Catcher stance. All right, this is just showing in general how many guys are league down. This is actually funny to look at. 95% knee down now in 2025, and it's crept up every year. See, 2020 was only 24% of people, then it went to 50 and 21, so it started to bleed in, became the preferred the slam dunk preferred by 22. And now it's overwhelming. 80% in 23, 90 last year, 95 this year. And it looks like on throwing, this year at least, with both knees up, they've been less successful. The knee down's been a better strategy. Now, both up's been better for blocking. I don't think that is a surprise to anybody. Framing, much better with at least a knee down. Although this year they've been basically neutral. But nobody does both knees up, so it's a little interesting. And overall, pitching runs. Actually, it's flipped back. Slightly more valuable to have both up this year. Now, that could be just Kyle Higashioka. He's probably the only one left that still goes both up. But interesting to note, nevertheless. What are Ben Rice's blocking stats? All right, there's a good question. Catcher blocking. We don't need qualified. We need like 100 pitches update. See if I can find Ben Rice. He is currently at 0 blocks above average, basically neutral. He's had mostly easy opportunities. He's only had 1.1% tough opportunities. So that's a good question from Jared in the chat. Yeah, Scott, to answer your question, the fact that framing works says something about the umpires. I mean, I think what it just says is that the job is super duper hard. One thing that I've noticed with umpires, right? Like, so if this mic is the catcher's shoulder, like the catcher's head, you can only set up on one side or the other so you can see. So that then kind of obstructs your view from that opposite corner. And I think sometimes you're just estimating or guessing. I also think low pitches are really hard to see. Yeah, I also think that the pitch framing is also a product of how close your pitchers actually execute as well. Like, if you're a little bit like around the intended area, it's a lot easier to steal strikes. If you're all over the place, you're never going to steal anything. So I know years ago, like when Yasmani Grandal used to lead the league when he's with the Dodgers, I was like, yeah, he's catching Greinke and Kershaw and like Kenley, guys who have really good control. Good luck trying to lead the league in framing, catching some staffs that are all over the place. But I think now everybody's trying to do it, so I think these numbers have the noise has kind of calmed down a little bit. Clearly the one knee helps at least scoop balls off the bottom, and almost everybody has been a lot better at framing off the bottom rail than the top rail. Top rail seems to be a special stat, special skill. Bailey and Hedges seem to be the two guys that were really good at that. How do you feel with the catcher's new style? Does it affect the pitcher? I think it's fine. Like, I don't mind the guy being on 2 legs or 1 leg. The issue that I have, and we can actually quickly look at this. Let me pull up a random game here. We'll see what we can see here. Who's catching in this game for the Padres? Let's see if I can give you a good example right away. Yeah, okay. All right, so here's a good example right away. It didn't take me very long to figure this out. So my issue with everything is just the targeting for the pitcher. So like right now, this is like really where he wants to give this target is like in the zone. He's trying to throw a slider for a strike here. That's where he wants it. But then as soon as he continues, now the glove's down here on the ground. And if you're a player that likes to key in on a target and the target's constantly moving, it's a lot harder to hit it. It's a lot harder to stay locked in on one location. So now, a lot of teams are teaching guys to not look at the glove. Like, let's look at something else. Hold on, let's key in on the mask. I want to change colors. Let's key in on the mask, or let's key in on a shin guard, something that doesn't move, or a chest protector. But I want to be able to watch the glove. And as a young pitcher, I was always taught, you want to stare a hole through that glove as you're about to pitch, and just leave your eyes there. But every time that they flash the glove early and then move it, here's a fastball. He probably wants this ball up, right? So he flashes the glove here. But if you want it there, just keep your glove there, and I can then keep my eyes locked on that glove, and I can execute that pitch. But instead, what does he do? He drops the glove down here. And it's like, now, if I'm a glove follower, I'm now looking at I'm looking out of the zone. I don't understand it. So that's my biggest issue with the current state of catching. It's not so much the one knee or the two knee. I could care less as a pitcher. I'm just trying to execute pitches. I do like 2 knees with a man on third because you got to be a brick wall back there. But really, it's more so about the glove flashing. Not a big fan of the glove flashing. I was taught to line up on the upper inside corner with umping. Yeah, see, exactly. Like, you have to pick one side, and then it's a little hard to see that pitch on that opposing side. I think that's pretty straightforward. They watch the ball go over the plate and then glance back to see where it landed. Can't do both at once. It's just hard. It doesn't matter where it lands. It's where it crosses. So there's a lot of estimation and assuming going on. I just think it makes the job really tough. All right, so that's going to be it for the stream today. We rolled for about an hour, I'd say. No, 45 minutes. But we got to get it popping for today's games. So let's go ahead and look at the probables. And if you haven't watched my video yet on Nolan McLean's debut, do that because I think it's pretty good and I think he's pretty impressive. There is one more question before we'll do this. Is the glove flashing to limit reading pitches? It is a little bit. They always teach guys to set up late so guys can't give location very well. But no, they're mostly doing it to get below the zone so then they can beat the ball on the way up to snatch it into the zone. I just think the idea of them flashing for pitches or locations is a little overrated. I'd much rather have my pitcher be able to key in on something and train his eyes and his hands to work together and be able to execute at a higher rate because ultimately the game comes down to execution. All right, here are the matchups for today. This first game is already basically underway. Nola and Mitchell Parker from Washington, 11:35 start there. Jansen Junk and Crochet. Can Crochet continue the run he's been on? He's been outstanding. Going up against the Fish today at Fenway. Evaldi and Barrios. The Rangers are reeling really bad. They're threatening to just drop completely out of the race. Nathan Evaldi has been their guy all year. He is coming off his worst start of the year, but this is a good matchup. Rangers and Blue Jays. Blue Jays are a hot team. Day game at Rogers Center usually can be some home run fireworks, but whatever. We'll see. That's why you watch the games. Eric Fetty, Logan Allen. Braves at guards. Quintana Abbott, we touched on this earlier. This is the Brewers going for their 15th in a row. They set out a super veterano in Quintana today. Going up against Abbott, though, is a good pitcher for the Reds. Dean Kremer, Christian Javier, Orioles and O's. Chris Paddock and a TBA for the Twins. So Paddock going up against his old team for the second time already since being traded. What a world. Davis Martin and Ryan Berger at White Sox and Royals. Royals have kind of fallen away from the pack as well. I think they're kind of toast. Will Warren, Miles Michaelis. Michaelis has pitched a lot better of late. I got to listen to him talk on Foul Territory a little bit. He had a pretty funny couple anecdotes recently, but he's a free agent at the end of the year. He's been a workhorse. He's a hard worker. I played with him on Team USA. He's looking to shut down that Yankee offense, which has gotten hot in hot St. Louis. And Will Warren, who pitched really well his last start, goes against the Birds on the bat today. Carmen Milodinsky and Javier Assad. Javier Assad, welcome back for the Cubs at Wrigley. Nabil Krismat, Mr. Changeup specialist versus a TBA for the Rock Show. And Jose Soriano and Jeffrey Springs. Soriano's been very good as well. Good sinker. Pepio, Logan Webb. This is a nice pitching matchup from the Bay. Both very good pitchers, good technicians. And then the rubber match tonight, Padres, Dodgers. Yu Darvish, Tyler Glasnow. Darvish looked outstanding in his last start. We broke that one down against the Giants. Going up against the sex symbol himself. Tyler Glasnow with the beautiful mane and the fastball and the curveball. And then we got Sunday Night Baseball from the Mets. Rubber match here. George Kirby, the local kid, the kid from Rye, going up against the Metros. Clay Holmes, he's shown a lot of signs of starting to wear down. We'll see how he looks tonight. Mets still need him in that rotation, so we'll see how it looks tonight going against this Mariners offense, which has been pretty good, minus yesterday, going against a new rookie with freakish breaking stuff in the shadows. So we'll see how they look tonight. George Kirby, he's also been on a burner. This should be a fun game, Mariners-Mets. So that's your probables for today. And tonight, got the one-night game, a bunch of day games, some pretty good baseball. Enjoy your Sunday, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday here in August. Summer's winding down, so make sure you take advantage of the heat before you know it. It's going to be cold and trick-or-treating season and all that. So, all right, I'm going to go deal with my children now. Love you guys. See ya. Girl came back from camp yesterday.